What's going on, everyone? We are here as promised. It is Saturday, October 15th. It is 11:01. Well, I have my man, Mr. David Moetown Morris, waiting. He's sitting here in the lobby. We're going to get him to come on the show. As you all know, we've been having different conversations with different men around the city. I'm in the city of Erie, Pennsylvania, just having, organic conversations, nothing freestyle, nothing scripted, everything's freestyle. Everything is live. We learning while we going, we processing everything, but we having different conversations and we talking to different people. And I've been inviting different men from the city of Erie, Pennsylvania, different men who I think or I believe have some positive things going on or who have created a positive path. And Mr. David Moetown Morris is very popular in the city of Erie, Pennsylvania. He's done a lot for our community. I remember him since being a young man, so I'm not even gonna give too much as far as the introduction. I'm gonna allow him to come on and introduce himself, and we're gonna let him talk about some of the things he's done, some of the things he's been through, and some of the things he believes we need to do moving forward. So I got him sitting here waiting in the lobby. I'm gonna bring him on, let him introduce himself, and we're gonna get this thing going. Hopefully everybody enjoys the conversation. Mr. Morris, what's going on, man?
Hey,
How you doing? How you
hey,
doing? We ready? We live. We live. How
I,
you doing, man?
I'm doing magnificent, doing magnificent. Welcome and thank you for having me on. And hello, Erie, PA. And
Absolutely,
about,
absolutely. Thank you, man. And I definitely appreciate you coming on. Like as I was putting my list together and thinking of different individuals I can interview and speak to, like you definitely came to mind because I remember you just like your presence in the community as a young man. Like I feel like I've known you all my life since like starting off going to St. James AME and like seeing you,
absolutely.
you know what I mean, growing up. So it's just an honor, you know what I mean, to have you. I'm glad that I can invite you and you accepted the invitation, but you know what I mean? Like the first question I've been asking and starting to ask everybody is like, what made you want to be interested in coming to have this conversation with me?
Just to be able to get out and, let everybody know what's new, what I'm doing. I've been off the scene for a little while, just preparing for my sons, last year. Had surgery this summer. I didn't attend a lot of games. I'm back coaching now
Okay.
with Shannon. So Batman and Robin is still here. This is my group behind me.
Okay, you working right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, I love it. I love it.
the,
Working man.
the work never stops,
Right,
when it comes
right.
to kids and the students out here and making things and people better. That's my God gifted ability. That's why I work for God first and foremost. So, giving back to the community never stops.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate that, man. And I'm not sure if you watch any, but like my questions kind of be all over the place and still run together at the same time. So I'm gonna be throwing them at you and picking up some of
Hey,
the things that you say. Like so. As far as like you doing what you doing right now, like
yeah.
why do you do that? Like what makes you feel like, why are you
Uh,
involved in the community? Why are you active with the kids and youth and coaching and stuff like that? Like that's been since I've known you, that's been your thing. Why is that?
well, throughout history, it's been, the youth has been leading the charge, whether it was through, social movements. Back in the day, the youth were not giving much, um, awareness of what they did to try to get through and help us achieve the things that we need to do back in the old days. So I think it starts there. We educate them to become greater leaders. We have to get in there. And it was a big void missed because I'm in the academic sector also. Work for the Charter School of Excellence now. I've been in a public school district. I've been all over in every school and all around. So my job for God is to make sure that, I put a seed and allow it to water through knowledge and just being able to touch and pray for everybody that I come across. And basketball has always been my thing coming from Cleveland. I was a McDonald All-American candidate and just trying to give back and show people how to get there because we got a lot of dreamers out there that want to say that this is our coaching staff. Sorry for the noise,
Oh no, it's all
but
right. You working.
hey, that's all good. But just being able to give back, because you can't have a lot of the students I used to hear them. I want to be a pro football. I want to be pro basketball. I want to be a rapper. Okay, what are you doing to get there? They don't know. So I really have to explain to them, tell them, and throughout the years, I've taught students how to become and to get to the point to where even you're at. being able to broadcast what it takes to get there, the academics that it may take to get there, or the research, the putting in the work, all of those things, man. I'm so proud of you. And I'm proud of everybody who listened and took part into, growing their brand.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. And like just listening to that, you know what I mean? And feeling being a product of that because like I said, growing up, throughout you being involved in my life and active in my life and just being active in the community and being able to have that type of access and being able to like be around that type of presence, like turned me into the man that I am today as well, and that's why I'm like, that's why I'm preaching and I'm talking about some of the things that I'm talking about. I'm doing some of the things that I'm doing because of men like you who are involved in my lives and involved in lives of the other people. And I feel like a lot of us who come from underneath your umbrella and the umbrella of your partners need to be doing more of the things that you do, especially when you walk and live in proof. Like, you know what I mean? So it's good to hear you say all of that because like that's part of my mission. And like I'm sitting
Yeah.
there, I'm thinking like, this dude is saying everything that like I believe in. And I'm realizing like everything that I believe, like you a part of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you play that major role
absolutely.
because we had men like you in the community,
Absolutely. And
So then like, and then you mentioned, so I always want to highlight people, we always got to show some praise. And you mentioned this basketball in Cleveland,
yeah.
McDonald's All-American. Take me through your basketball journey a little bit
Oh
and give us a little bit
man,
about you, man. We got
man,
to know a little bit
it's
about where you come from.
I look back and I tell my players every year. I've been coaching for 30 years, and I tell my players all the time, man, I wish y'all had the insight and the ability that and opportunities that I had, coming up in Cleveland. It's gang ridden, you know, things that I went through to make myself or separate myself from, the norms of, coming up in Cleveland in education. I was
Can
telling
I
one of
can
my
I get a little
students.
walk through that when you say things you went through, if you don't mind?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let's start at middle school. Middle school was uh, it was normal, but when I look back, terrifying.
Okay.
We used to have gang wars. If a kid walked down the hallway and said, "Hey, walk out," the whole school would walk out to the front of the building. No teachers, no cop could stop us. Then we'd go up to a neighboring school, call them out, and have a fight.
Oh wow.
And I went one time to see why was they walking over there. Man, it was crazy. But I separated myself from that nonsense. But I took advantage. I was a kid, took advantage of the time. I went home. While they was gang warring, I went home. Safety. Basketball was my forte. Remember sitting in the classroom and shotgun shells was popping over my head, next to the window. So all of this stuff that's happening now is not new. It's been around and in every city. But I took the advantage of my basketball and I let that be my ticket. So I went to a private school, which was an awakening experience. It was all white school, never been around a bunch of white people like that. And it was a culture shock. And then that's when they came out with the 2.0 rule, and I had to really hustle to get that. I had scholarships and offers to many different Division One colleges, but I didn't have the grades because of what my middle school did.
Okay.
Academics wasn't important back then, as it is now. So fine tuned myself, got myself academically, close to a 2.0. I think I had a 1.9 or something. Oklahoma was one of the ones that really stuck to me. They wanted me to go to their JUCO, which was nationally ranked. And then Gannon came and offered something. So my high school coach went to Gannon. He was like, "Hey, stay close because you play with the Cavaliers throughout the summer and
Hmm.
all of those things. They watching you." So I stayed close. I went to Gannon. Never heard of it. Never even heard of Erie.
Okay.
But it was like I moved with God. You know,
Okay.
my mom is a minister, so we prayed about it, and Gannon was the place to go. So I'm happy I did go. But some of the other opportunities was uh, me being able to play with NBA players that came from Cleveland. I grew up with Charles Oakley, which was the leading rebounder back in the 90s. Brad Sellers, which was a 7-footer recruited by Chicago. He was in our conference. Clinton Smith played for the Golden State Warriors. We was all childhood friends. Ron
Okay.
Harper, who I met later on, but we all stuck together. And that led to other opportunities of me meeting Michael Jordan because he played with Charles Oakley and Brad Sellers, who was at Chicago at the time. So I got a lot of me. It was no fanfare for us. All the best ball players stuck together. All the best ball players practiced together. They used to close the YMCA off from 11 to 1 and allow us to play in there. Um, so, we wouldn't be bothered by all the fanfare. So,
Okay.
coming up, that's the opportunities that I wish they had, students had today, but I give that through me. This is what it takes. This is what you got to grind for. This is what you got to do. A no lip service, just work service. So let's
Okay.
get it done. And so if you want to dream, I'm gonna help you get there, but you got to put in the work. And if you ain't there, I'm coming to your house and get you.
Absolutely.
So
I love that. I love that. So then we going back to like, okay, so this walkout situation thing, right? So
yeah,
now for you to make the decision after one time to say, you know what, like this is not what I want to do. This is not for me. I'm gonna figure out something else that's better to go a different direction. Like what hit you or what sparked that for you? Like, was it like the way you were raised? Was it the, morals and the principles of the household? Like, was it, you know what I mean? Like, I know you said
yeah.
your mother was a minister, but me, like some
hmm
of our kids today, it's difficult to kind of like make the decision to go the other way. Like what hit you the hardest or what made you feel like I need to go
Um,
the right way, excuse me.
my mother is a minister. My older brother is a bishop. My brother next to me, which was my biggest influence, he's a minister now. And just coming up with that aspect, he was a basketball player. So he's the one. I was first. Football was my thing, and I
Okay.
was very good at it.
Okay.
But when the snow back then, you played. It was snowing during the end of the season. So I was like, do I want to be warm or do I want to be out here running in the snow? So, and plus seeing my brother, he's 6'8". He got a scholarship to Southern Illinois University, Division One, and I wanted to mimic him.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so powerful. When I used to just watch him out in the seventh grade, just watching him play against other NBA players and men, and he used to just come out. They used to call him the Velvet Hammer.
The
He was
velvet.
so
That sounds
smooth.
smooth.
He was so smooth with his touch, but when he come out that crowd, he dunking on you.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the soft side and the hammer. So it stuck, and I was like, man, I want to be like my brother. So he was a big influence on me staying away from, gangs and you know things of that nature, or coming out of gangs because stupidly I joined them when I was young.
Okay.
But I walked away like basketball was my ticket. And just the influence there, the participation, because it got to a point where my dad was very hard on me. He's a Southern guy, so
Mm-hmm.
he was very hard on me. Because I had an older brother who was a pimp, and he was out there in the streets, so he was doing his thing, and he didn't want me to be nowhere near him or like that. So he was hard on me, and I remember the first day I got to high school, freshman year. I was the first person to start varsity in my freshman history, and
Man.
once I got in there, I started doing work, and his boss told him he took my mom told me the story. He said that his boss was like, "Hey, your son is in the newspaper." And my dad was like, "What did he do? What did he? Oh, I'm gonna kill him when I get home." He's like, "Nah, man." He said, "Don't you follow your son's basketball career?" He said, "What? My son playing basketball?"
Oh man.
He was like, "Dude, look at the paper. I was Cleveland Plain Deer Player of the Week."
Okay.
And he brought home stacks of papers. He was so proud at that time. That's the first time I seen accolades from him because a Southern man, they don't give accolades, and if I'm saying the name right, but they don't give. Um, okay, thank you. All right, definitely. What color we wearing? I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, okay. All right, getting ready for big game day, y'all. Make sure y'all come down. Free Kings Academy at Wayne, putting that little post in there.
What
But
time? What
again,
time in the game?
the game starts at 8.
Okay.
Yeah, we down here at the old Wayne Middle School.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, get back to the story. My father just, it was important. Men back in the Southern days, they wasn't allowed to show love because it
Right,
meant weakness.
right.
So I finally forced my dad to tell me years later, almost graduated from high school, to tell him that he loved me, and that was important because now that's a part of my prerequisite when I see you. I
Okay,
always tell everybody I love them
okay.
because a lot of men and young girls don't hear that from a man who really cares enough to say, to give you that God love.
Right.
So that's my job. When I see you, when I depart from you, I love you, you know, I'm here for you.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, well, that's interesting to hear you say that because I talked to Corey Coleman 2 days ago, and he said something about that as far as like us as men, saying I love you and how important that is. And
Yep.
then to hear you say like as far as your father, because we in different generations and different gaps of time to where like that accolades and that acknowledgement of your accomplishment and you doing something like, and you said that was very important. I remember I told you we was gonna be all over the place. So like since you said
Yeah.
that, I want to ask you like, why was that so important to you then? And how important do you think it is today for us as fathers to tell our sons and daughters we love them more often, and for us as men, black men in general, to tell another man, I love you, you know what I mean, and acknowledge some of his goodness.
Yeah. Because again, biblically speaking, I try to live my life by the word and give things by the word. The last commandment that God gave was for us to love. And Jesus speaks about it continuously, the love that he has for us. And if we're to walk like Christ, I want to talk like Christ. And I want to let everybody know I genuinely love you. And it's not just no words coming out of my mouth. What can I do for you today? If it's in my capability, I'm going to give you a piece of my knowledge. I'm going to touch and I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to genuinely give the love that Christ told me to give. You know, again, if we're to be Christ-like, we need to walk and talk. There's so much negativity in this world today. We need to hear blessings from a man that has, certain abilities to incorporate and uplift people. And I'm just thankful God gave me the job. I say that to him every day. I'm thankful, because my job, when I look around, I don't see a whole lot of people doing what I do. Not to
Right.
say that I'm special to anyone. I'm just a vessel to be used by him.
A
Every
special
day I
one, sir.
pray. Yeah, I pray to the Holy Spirit, move me out the way and you do your thing.
Okay.
So and then today, no one hears that from people. I tell my students every day, good morning, how are you today? I love you and let's have an excellent day. And I tell them that by the end of the day, make sure you're safe. Be safe. I'm a phone call away. Everybody can hit me on social media. I try to be there for them. I've walked, and I tell my cousin Shannon Poole, he always said, "Man, you got so many goddaughters and godsons because they come see me when they get in town or, just in
Uh-huh.
walk." And I say, "Yeah, because I adopt them." So I actually have I would say I have over 500 goddaughters and
Whoa, whoa,
godsons.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Over
Over 500.
over that
So
amount because
so
every year I'm adopting a new child or because they go through hard times and I hate to see a child not having the advantages that I had or should have. You got straight A's and your mom and dad is working hard or your mom, single family, you're not able to, accomplish the things. And I've had times where I've paid for their when you first go to college, you have to pay a waiver
mhm,
up to $200. Some colleges, I've paid that for them to get there. And of course I never brag or anything, but this is the thing I want the next person to do. You
right,
know,
right.
so pay that because that was a burden on their parents. They got straight A's. I helped them get grant scholarships And throughout my life, I've made connections with the police. I've made connections with lawyers. I've made connections with college professors, deans, administrators, and God allowed me to make these connections. And then when I look back, I'm like, man, okay, this kid need this help in this. I said, hey, Gannon, I need a financial advisor to come to my school to explain to some students how they can achieve grants.
Okay.
So I would call up people that I know there at different colleges. They want to come here. So, again, just the resources that God allowed me to build throughout the years has really been helping these kids, and I love that.
Man, listen here, man. I can appreciate you giving all your praise to God. I love it. Listen, like, and I'm sure you know this, and I don't know if you said or if you feel comfortable saying or accept, like, you are an amazing man. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, that's amazing, man. Like, you are an amazing individual. You know what I mean? And I see the modesty and I see the humility in you. But like, I'm sitting here like as another man listening to you and hear you talk about some of the things that you do, and actually, literally, like, even to the second of your background noise and what you have going on right now. Like, for you to give and do and be able to, like you said, a lot for God to make you that person, and that's like to give you that job and for you to be able to fulfill it, and for me to be walking living proof. Like, I ain't the greatest person in the world, but I feel like I'm pretty good. Like, do you ever,
You
like,
are.
outside of you know what I mean, not taking away anything from anybody, have you ever sat and thought, like, looked at you and took it all in, like, man, like, like, I do it
I,
pretty, like, I am
I,
that guy, I'm great.
I look at it in response to, I'm like, God, what, why me sometimes? Or not so much as why me, because I love my job working for you, but how can I do what I do without people being offended or, today everything is offensive. You
Right,
say a certain word, you do a certain thing, you hug somebody in public, everybody's getting this, and that ain't nothing but demons. Because
right,
back in the day, uh, uh, um, a grandmother will kiss a kid in church on their forehead and tell them that they love them and send them on their way, but they also let them know I rock them. So that's another thing that I tell some of my students. When I first see them and enroll them in school, hey, I'm an
mhm,
extension of your parents. I love you enough to knock you out,
right,
and that's just meaning I'm going to do everything to make sure you succeed in life,
right,
in my power,
right,
so every day you can ask every student what my grades looking like, where
right,
we at.
right,
If you're on my team or you on my side of the lab or whatever, I want to beat the other side of academics. So I
right,
make it a game that, hey, let's get it. If you want to use the bathroom, where my grade sheet at? I mean,
right,
you can use
right,
the bathroom, but as much as they
right,
want to use it, it's like, come on,
I understand.
I'll give you some green light if you
Right,
give me my grades.
right,
So that's the first and foremost that I always preach to them. I'm the dad of the school, and they know that.
I
No
love it.
nonsense.
I love to hear
So
that.
every day, I be ripping on my girls from their hair weave to, whatever, just to get their attention. Hey, Mr. Morris, you talking about it? Girl? There was an app called Let Go, and I think you need to put it on there. So yeah, the kids love me because I just have joke. I lighten their situation because a lot of them coming from a rough background, and
Right,
and
even just to
they
acknowledge them. It was crazy. Like, even like right now, like, I want you to, you know what I mean? You still give it to the kids. Like, I want you to, like, do you know how amazing you are? Is my question to you, sir.
I just walk, everything else is accolades to God, and my kids, my students, my family, my friends, I never look for the accolades for any of it. So I really don't think about it. But sometimes I'll be like, God, thank you,
Right,
for really allowing me to have this position,
right.
you know.
Right. Well, since you don't think about it, well, today I'm gonna give it to you and let you know I'm gonna say it again. Like, I think you are amazing, Mr. Morris. Like,
I
honestly, I can honestly truly
appreciate it.
say that, like, from through like your work, you know what I mean, and then seeing like your children, you know what I mean, and then
Yeah.
like your relationship with God and your presence in the community, like every single thing that you do, like you are literally, like, in my opinion, like in my true opinion, like you are walking, talking proof of what a man should be. You know what I
I
mean? I feel like
appreciate
on
that.
the conversation, the subjects of the things that I'm talking about, and the things that I like to say, your
Yeah.
input, your feedback, your guidance, has been important. It's going to continue to be important. More of us need to look up to you. We also need to acknowledge you. You know what I mean? Like, because I know a lot of people might ask you for things, ask you for help, and ask you for support, and take. You know what I mean? And we take everything that God gives you to give to us. But I mean, at least today I got some flowers to give to you, and that's what I'm gonna tell you. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I ain't got nothing to
appreciate
take
it.
from you today but time, and I appreciate the
Yeah,
time that you're giving me. So then, like,
I
and
appreciate
I
it.
really love everything that you do. So then, like, I know that you understand the importance of like us as black men being role models and being active and being present in the community. But can you kind of give me like outside of like the children, like how important that is for us as other men and important for the black woman to see us as black men active and present in a community such as yourself?
Yeah, well, it's definitely needed because society has painted a picture that's full of lies. From education, I find out from, even spiritually, some of the things that I found out in the past few years, we're being swayed and deceived. We're living in the last days where, the devil is rampant. So, I mean, for us men to stand up and do God's will and to be an example of what a true man is, we're in a fight and we need to continuously support each other, uplift each other, and secure ourselves as strong men. Because today we've got the sway identities. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we are. And it's just constant confusion. And you know who the author of confusion is. So, and those that don't know it is the devil.
Right.
So I'm putting on him. But in that regard, for us men, it is so important for us to support each other and to uplift and to encourage, like I am saying to you, continue to do your work because the seed was planted years ago. It was planted long ago before you even knew you was going to be here. God had already given me insight on what you were going to become. There's always two roads to a pathway. It could be more if you want to really diversify, but you either going to do right or you're going to do wrong. And
Right.
in your doing right, that's a job because people are going to be there to pull you down. They're going to pull you away. They're going, hey, don't do that. Let's go do this. And you have to make choices and decisions that are godly. So that's what keeps me going and keeping me motivating the men and the young men. And man, I'm so proud of you guys, man. And my godson, Durfee Wells, for an example. And
Okay.
I got
Okay.
so many out there. Like I said, I got hundreds of them. But just being a minister that constant, when he sees me, it's like a kid again. He give me the biggest hug and thank me. And man, that's what I need. That's my accolades right there. That's my flowers to see you guys and a lot of you and those who listen and spread the word. I'm watching and I'm
Okay.
seeing all of the ones that I've touched in my life. And I'm so proud of you. Whether it's the shortcomings or upcomings or you reach the top, keep striving. Because if you reach for the stars and fall a little short, you're still going to be above earth. So continue to do well and continue to strive. I'm not better than no other man. I'm not better than no other child. I still learn from children. I still learn from my seniors, my adults. It's always a learning process because God put things in front of you that you need to continue his work.
Okay. All right. So then like and then I kind of like as far as like the support system, as far as the support system that you have behind you and the family structure, like can you kind of like fill us in? I think I know from the outside looking in, but it ain't my business to tell. Like, what does that look like for you as far as like the family and the support structure for you?
Oh, family is everything. I mean, how can you be a father and not attend to your child? That upsets me. I understand that relationships separate, they move, they shake, But if you have the foundation, and what gets me is we get married up under God, but then we get out here and serve the devil by not doing the things that we supposed to be doing. We get married by preachers, and that's what I mean by under God. But it's a job, it's work when you're in a relationship. You have to, really give time, understanding. Remember, you two different people that join with two different upbringings, so you got to collaborate and constantly work with each other to compromise or to see, because there's an order in the home, and that's a family. It's God first, man, woman, and children. A woman shouldn't put her children before her man, if you're in a binding marriage. So once we follow that order, it breeds success. But with success, there's always a challenge.
Right.
So with my son and my daughter, who I'm so proud of, they're both state championship contenders and uh, went to college and played basketball and they're doing their thing. My son is in his last year. Proud of what he's doing. My daughter just gave me my first grandchild. I'm proud of her. She's working, doing good things. But even in my children, they slip up too. They're not perfect. They're going to go through their trials and tribulations. My wife, sometimes she gets so anxious with always being a mother, trying to help, they grown, they're 26 and 23, but she still sees them as the baby. And that's her job to do that. But sometimes I have to be the man and say, hey, allow them to bump their head, because if they're not listening to what's been taught, they're going to find out the hard way, but we're going to be here to support them when they fall, to
Okay.
teach them when you fall, stand up and brush yourself off. No excuses, no explanations. You know the deal. Let's get to walking straight. So that's always been, and I give the same advice from my children to everybody that I meet. My kids in school, they get the same advice, the same love, the same hard knocks. You mess up, serve, be ready to serve the consequences.
Okay.
So,
So then, like, as far as that, like, how does that feel? Like, having raising like children, like accomplished children, and knowing like, this is a product of me. You know what I mean? And my children, what they have
mhm.
going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, all that's like,
Yeah,
I got a lot of kids. I be seeing like so many different little versions of me. But like, you
yeah.
got adult children now. Like, what's that like, and how is that for you and your wife? You know what I mean? Like, the good and the
It,
bad. Like take me through that a little
yeah,
bit.
it's it's definitely um, it's always a challenge because being there from the beginning through, and especially when you have a son and you're a father, um, training him in a way that's not normal to the city you're in. I trained him like I was trained in Cleveland.
Okay.
So that's how he became. But he took that and he started honing his craft. And that's what we have to do when we're teaching our children, that each one of y'all has a craft. Just like in the Bible, when the sons, God gave the sons all different talents. He gave one five, he gave one three, he gave one one. The one with one was jealous because of the other ones having more. If he would have honed his craft, he would have had more. Don't
Right.
focus on what other people have. Focus on the craft that you're assigned, and then we will build off of that. And that one talent can be bigger than the five talents. You know what I mean? But we're so busy outside, and it's my job as a dad to teach my children that. David reached a pinnacle and milestone, and my daughter was grinding this hard, so I know she has. I'm like, why is David getting all the attention? Focus on your task. You went to state championship three in a row. David's struggling to get this one off his chest. So you accomplished so many things, even though he was in the newspaper more.
Hmm.
So, and she'd be like, but Dad, life ain't fair. No, whoever told you it was.
Right.
We don't live by fair standards. Because as long as there's God and people trying to uproot what he's trying to do, or demons trying to uproot what God is trying to do, life ain't supposed to be fair. We don't live by fair. Just take care of your business. Do the
Okay.
things that you're supposed to do, academics and things of that nature. So as a family man, you know, um, I'm there for the long haul. That's my job. I want to be there, and I can't determine what the future may bring, but sometimes you got to call those things to be not as though they were. Meaning, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to defend my family.
Right. Okay. All right.
Those
So
in the
then, like,
way better watch out.
and I like, so you know what I mean. So you are a married man, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So then, like,
going
and I want to
30
ask you,
years.
how many years?
30.
30 years. 30. So then I feel like you can. I believe you can get your opinion on this question, and I want to know the answer to it. Like, how
Absolutely.
important? How important is the black woman to the black man, and to
Oh man.
be able to develop the black man? Help me understand.
And I'm on TikTok, guys. I stay social media driven a little bit just to get insight. I'm not on there like all day, like people being nosy and things. I need to know how the people are thinking and who's influencing people to think a certain way. And I'm so disappointed in our women today, the young women, because they're being led to believe that they don't need a man to survive. When God created woman, it was for companionship and to be able to thrive together in his job. So when we're out of his order, it's not so much that a woman needs a man to survive. You need them. I mean, you don't need a woman financially or, for this or that, but your DNA was designed. We created the first birth. And I tell my girls that all the time. And I often, when we have family events and we get into pregnancies and how difficult it is for the woman, I'll be like, we gave the first birth. God put us to sleep, took one of our ribs out, and He made woman. That means we're one. We're supposed to be together. So, but all the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B's, they're poisoning our young women to thinking that I can live this lifestyle and be this way, but yet marriages is declining. Women are depressed. A lot of mental disorders because we're out of order. So when you have a family dynamic, there's a rule to that family dynamic. And when we step outside of that, um, we this is where we are.
So
And as far as our men today, they've done a lot of damage to our women throughout the past. But today, they're working hard. They want to accept their responsibility. But women like, hey, I don't need them.
So let me ask you, like, because you have that 30 years of experience, and you know what I mean. You raised that family. Like, I'm asking you, like, me to you, like, what's the benefits of having a woman in your life, and how does she help you build and motivate and create, like, outside of what we lack, and like sell it to us a little bit through
Yeah,
yours.
man, my my woman is amazing. I mean, just God given, uh, godly woman um, takes up the slack where I slack, raising beautiful kids, helping me with my God kids. We got grandkids that stay with us, God grandkids that stay with us continuously. Spend the night. I take them to the park. I take them to see David play in Indiana. Uh, her support, and knowing my position for God is so important because that's the thing. You got to have that support from your wife or your husband to understand that she understands when I go to the mall and people run up to me, girls that run up to me from youth to adult and give me hugs. She's not jealous because she know what I'm about. She's not jealous of anything of that. She don't have to be. So it's like that support in nature. We know each other. We bond. We understand. We have our ups and downs. And that's typical because again, like I said before, you two were raised differently. But we have to come to a correspondence or an agreement and just be like, okay, we don't agree on this. We got to pray on it. Something as simple as the front door. I remember me and my wife, she was talking about the screen door. We got two beautiful oak doors, and we would trying to get those little screen doors for protection during the winter and rain these times of month. She was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I said, okay, I'm gonna get them. So months later, she was like, no, I don't think I. So she was swaying on me. And the Bible speaks about how the women like to sway sometimes. It's based on feelings. So
Mhm.
I said, well, purpose. We do things by purpose. I teach purpose. I live by purpose. The purpose is to protect these doors. You can see through them. So I'm getting them because that's the purposeful thing to do. That's how we need to live. And after they was on, oh, they look good, actually good. So as a man, it's not me bossing or saying I'm going to do, but when God says do things, we will need to do them by purpose. So now our doors are protected instead of going through the weather cracking that they were about to go through. So sometimes we just have to understand, and she understands that. When I have to move with God, sometimes I get calls late at night, somebody in trouble, somebody need a ride. I'm like, babe, I gotta go. She's so concerned because she don't want nothing to happen to me, but she understands. And I've actually picked up older students, um, from a traumatic experience and took them to a safer place. You know, so.
So
But
that's what's up.
marriage is a beautiful thing, man.
She always
If
got your
you
back.
make it, always, always. I never had anything that she didn't because one, you gotta be as a man, you don't want to put yourself in a position, that she had to make a choice that, messing up, So you want to always keep yourself in a position for doing the right thing.
Okay. All right. So then I want to ask you, like, because like I'm a huge advocate for mental health. I always talk about mental health and checking my mental health and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So, like, I want to ask you, like, what's your take on mental health? How do you manage? How do you cope? How do you deal? Like, what's your strategies, if any? Like, and
Yeah,
what's
I'm noticing a big uprising in the mental health, and I'm a strong component of. And I ask God, where's this coming from? Because back in the day, this was never an issue, and as far as how it is today. So I was like, where's all of this coming from? And I tell people because I'm going on a different health kick, but we have to be careful what we consume because a lot of the things that we're eating today is purposefully driven to make us sick because the chemical companies make profit on us sustaining. I'm on different medications for just high blood pressure, being this and that. And I'm like listening to Dr. Sabi. Have you heard of him?
yes, sir. I have.
Okay, this man is heaven sent. And anytime that they find cures for things, government want to kill them, so, but I've been following his dietary plans and even fasting. Um, for years, I've known fasting to be something that we need to do in the Bible to get closer to God and to be this, but no one ever told me the benefits of fasting the way that I've learned in these past couple years. And when I had my knee surgery, it forced me to fast for, I think, 2 weeks, where I wasn't eating and never had a sniffle, never had, and God just started showing me, brain was clearer, thinking was clearer. And I was like, wow, normally I have a little sniffle here or there. I don't get sick, but mucus in your chest and stuff. And then when I start, eating McDonald's and just going back to that lifestyle after my body start healed itself, I went back for a little bit and I was like, man, I'm feeling phlegm just build up in my
Sir.
chest. Like
Yes,
I'm coughing after I eat. I'm coughing phlegm. I'm like, oh man, I'm done with this. So I'm kind of teaching people to eat better because a lot of that is having issues with mental health too, the way it attacks our brains, how we think. It's just not just the internal digestive, but eating differently can help tremendously with a lot of things. And they put you on medicine that don't help at all. It just hinders you more. So Any other benefits, listen to your doctor, but change up your eating, eat a lot of fruit, when you want to crave them. Because I'm this big because of cookies and milk. That was my thing from childhood. And that's the worst thing I could have did because I eat food, but I'm a junk food eater, and so I've lost 40 pounds and I'm continuing to just try to keep that off and eat better, and you can splurge here and there, but
Okay.
just watch your intake because that affects us mentally as well as our physical body. Arthritis, like I said, two hip replacements, a knee replacement a couple months ago, and all of that. I didn't feel no pain when I was fasting.
Hmm.
I didn't have no pain, no injuries. I was walking lighter. I was feeling good. But yeah, it's important, man, to take care of what you eat, and that has an effect on our mental too.
Okay. All right. So then, all right. So again, like I said, I'll be all over the place with my questions. Like, so like what I'm trying to do, well, what I'm doing, I'm not gonna say what I'm trying to do. What I'm doing is creating some type of community, some type of fellowship, some type of platform to where us as men we can kind of start coming together and having conversations like you and I just had, and like
Hmm.
having different discussions to where it's okay, like you said, to tell another man I love you, or it's okay for me to say, hey, bro, I need help, or I'm having an issue. Like for instance, it's different people's children who are calling you, and I feel like that says a lot in your character. Like, how do we as men, like, what do you think would benefit us? I mean, how do we get together, start coming together, and having these type of collaborations or conversations? Like, I don't even know how to formulate the question, but
Hmm. But I understand. That's something that have been taken off. Um, been trying to be done for years. I've watched them grow. I've watched them fall off a little bit because of time, commitment, whatever. But this type of avenue that you're creating right here, open up the video, that may be a starting point for you to just have something that people can really get on here, or a source like this, and just have a men's group, whether it's a Zoom meeting or a team meeting. Those Zoom platforms, those type of platforms, people tend to feed into a little bit more than just taking the time to drive somewhere anymore. So it's an avenue that you can create, and that corresponds to have us all just meet in the lobby like we are today, and just have chat, just have talk, and just make the time minimal so it don't drag into people's busy schedule or what they may have to do, but it's edifying to just be able to speak for an hour, or to have something said, or to bring, get things together, help support fellowship, because God said we should fellowship,
absolutely.
and this is you have the platform. God has created it for you. So run with it.
Absolutely. So then, like, why do you think it's important that we do this?
It's in our spiritual nature to be together and to support each other. And the fellowship is the biggest thing to strengthen us to keep going, because we're tore down so much, especially as black men. I mean, we have it the worst. We have to fight society and our women,
Yeah.
so that's a bad combination,
Right.
so as far as to the women, we love you. It's
Thank
no need to test us.
thank you.
And men, check yourself. If
Thank
you want to be with a female, then be with that female and that female. So you guys and girls, give each other the love that they need to get. Journey out, go on simple walks, go on bike rides. Keep the love and the activities that make a relationship work, because we need you women, and women, y'all need us. Our job is to make sure that we're doing God's work, and to get out here and fellowship. The women need their time to fellowship with women on their issues, needs, wants, and men need to do the same at coming together. and making sure that as the head of the household, we're doing what God wants us to do first and foremost, and that trickles down through our women and through our children, and it blossoms from there. And we just keep that standard because if the devil can't get to the man, he gonna go to the woman, and that's what he's been doing. And so many women is bickering with men that they shouldn't be. And then if he can't get to the woman, he's getting to the children. Yep, the children gonna fall. They gonna scuff themselves. They gonna disappoint. But understand, like I tell my kids, yeah, you gonna go through it because I disappointed my mother and father. I wasn't the worst kid in the world. I wasn't doing too much, but when I got in the gangs and I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing out there, my mom would always come home and the first thing she would say, "I love you." So that's why I do it. I want to make sure that you know that I love you. What you've done is what you've done. Repent from it, move on, and let's keep this moving.
Man, listen here. I wish you had a microphone. I wish you was here with me because I would have let you drop the mic though. That was some big dog talk right there, man. Listen, everything that you said, I'm sitting here listening. I'm shaking. Goosebumps, man. Like everything that you said made 100% sense. Like
Yeah,
if for anybody who watching and pay attention, man, like y'all should have been liking, loving, if y'all whatever platform you on, man, in the comments, all of that.
mhm,
Like, if that don't make no sense to you, like, and literally, like, that's like alpha male talk. That's big dog to me, and this is how I'm taking it. I know you a little bit more modest, but from the way I look at it, is like I walk it and I talk it. Like, so this is what I'm doing. This is what's happening. This is how
yeah,
it's going on, and it's with a purpose. It's for good reason, man. So like, I love the example that you setting. I appreciate the
yeah,
conversation. You know what I mean? I appreciate all the information that you shared. Like, especially you said with that fellowship thing, I definitely think that's a good thing to do because I think us as men, I'm not gonna say I know us as men need to be able to ask another man for help and feel comfortable with asking for that help. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
But some of us as men, we also have to expose ourselves to other men to allow them to know and understand that it's okay for you to ask me for help because you can trust me, bro. Like I'm not trying to
Absolutely.
hurt you. I'm not trying to take anything away from you. I only want to see you win. So that's why for
Yeah,
me, like conversations like this is important to me because I want to keep having these conversations with more men. And I want
yeah,
other men to be watching to feel and see some of the men that I'm talking to and realize that's a good dude and realize they could talk to me and that's a good dude and maybe send some messages out or even, thank you for coming on or thank you for the stuff that you share because like I feel you. I agree. Like we need more men like you, like that's gonna talk like that. That you know what I mean? That big dog talk, that alpha male talk, but like you said, still be loving, still be
yeah,
compassionate, still be caring. So like when you have all of this going on, you have this type of mentality. You got your family going on. You got your God, your spirituality, your favorite for anybody. I'm not trying to offend. You know what I mean? But our belief is our belief. Like so, then what type of men do you surround yourself? And I'm not asking for names. It's up to you if you want to drop names,
yeah.
but far as characteristics and stuff like that, like what type of men are you surrounding yourself with for you to be
Oh
moving like this?
man. Uh, and I'm gonna give you a couple names. Corey Coleman. That's my little god brother. We've had talk throughout history, and he's seen how I live, and when I see his spirituality, I'm so proud of him. Ron Paisley, a brother of mine, just adapting the same nature, coaching, care for kids, family oriented. um, you don't have to look because God gonna place people in your life that are like that, and you tend to weed out who you can and talk with, speak with, understand with. Because in a room, and I tell my kids, when we're talking about God and we're in a crowded room, people are going to come over. They're either going to sit down or they're going to leave because something is convicting them. But I say, anytime you're talking about God, there's an interruption. So somebody's going to come, and lo and behold, every single time for all my life, that has happened. And people like, I said, we're talking about God right now. I talked to a young lady. I said, somebody's going to come interrupt, watch. And like 10, 15, however many minutes, I was like, didn't I tell you? And then I said, and they be like, wow, they be so amazed. And I'm like, because they don't want the demon don't want these truths to be planted,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So continue to do what you do. God leads the people. Just like I came across your line, that wasn't you. God placed that thought in your head, you know? And for me to accept, that's why when you did that, hey, look, you're not the only one, and there's going to be more behind you, but I reference you. This is who you need to go see. This is who's doing this what you like to do, you know. So you are a spiritual reference that I can use to teach my kids that's coming up how to achieve and go to what you need to. I have friends that are doctors from the Jeffries. I have kids that want to get into nursing, want to be, hey, video conference with Dr. Jeffries in my office in school with two or three students that have the same interest, and she's just enlightening them. You know, that's the resources that I've been talking about, being able to do that for people. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you're doing. I'm so proud of your spirituality. I've watched you grow. Man, as much as you excited about me, I'm more excited about you. So continue to do your thing.
I appreciate that, man. I definitely do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, giving me an hour of your time. We've been going for almost an hour now. I appreciate the insight, all the
Yeah.
information. I appreciate everything that you've ever done. For me throughout my life. I remember seeing you in the church. I remember seeing you in the school, the gym, the community. Like I know, like no matter. And then anytime I know I seen you, it was always like, get in order. Like you know what I mean. Wasn't no nonsense around. Mr. Morris wasn't no acting no fool. Even if I was acting a fool at the time, it was kind of like I see, oh, straighten up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I appreciate the authority that you provide to
Hmm.
the community. I appreciate the presence that you provide to the community, all the activities you've had going on throughout the years, the things you got going on. And I know you got to get yourself ready for your game. I know it's mental preparation and all of that. So like
Hmm.
before we get you out of here, you can go ahead and you got anything you want to say before you go, or any questions you want to ask me, or you can plug in the game. Let us know what you got going on for the rest of the evening. Shout them out or do what you got to do, man. Get your last couple minutes. It's all on you. Show.
Man, look, right now my mental prep is video games. That's my biggest thing. I like to go home. I got the PlayStation 5. I got umpteen games that I'll play NBA. So I'm gonna hit NBA 2K23 when I get home, have me some lunch. The wife should be home from her meeting. We'll see what she wants to do before game prep, but pretty much relax the rest of the day playing video games. So that's my downtime. That's how I escape now. Because a lot of time my kid like, Dad, you always playing video. Girl and boy, I done drove y'all all over this country for the past 20 years. It's my time to just relax. So
Right.
you find your little niche and you just relax, you know. I'm not in the street. My wife know where I'm at. You know, she had a problem with it at first, but you know, she like, okay, he's home, he's safe. If I need him, we need to go somewhere, we can go, we can do this and that. But I'm like, hey, y'all don't bother me. This is my time. When you need
Right.
me, I'll be there, but you gotta have time for yourself. So that's what I'm gonna do. Take my time. I'm glad I'm back into coaching. I took off the last couple years. Now I got my knee fixed so I can move now and go to games. And yeah, so I'm just gonna relax and unwind.
So where
But
you coaching
y'all,
at? Where the game at? Drop the plug
yeah,
so we, you know what I mean?
I coach for the Keystone Academy Kings. Um, New, this is our second year up under Shannon Pulliam. Corey Coleman organized it. This was a dream of ours when my son was playing. It's finally coming to fruition. You see how God worked, and it's been amazing. You know, I missed it. Like I said, the last year I couldn't get around because of the knee. It's fixed. I'm back to coaching, um, trying to get my big man ready for tonight. And we're here at Wayne, the old Wayne Middle School. Entrance is in the front. Not sure how much tickets are tonight, but it's supposed to be packed. And we got big time Division I players up in here. We
Okay.
got a 7 foot freshman.
Seven.
He's yeah, 15. He's learning the ropes, but we got big men, 6'10", jumps out the gym strong. Uh, Another candidate. I don't want to say names until y'all come down and see him, but this dude pretty much can hit his head on the rim, and he's a gorilla. And what I mean by that, he's strong. He's active. It's exciting, man. We
Okay.
be like, some of the stuff that he be catching over the rim is like, how is that possible? So come on out and enjoy this game tonight. We're trying to put things together, win, lose, or draw. We're in the trenches just trying to get better, and we're going to get better. So come on out. Y'all know some. We got a couple local players that plays for us. That's dynamic. You know, it's exciting to see all these big Division I coaches coming in the gym all summer. You know, scouting, and it's like, whoa, that's Calipari, or that's Pitt's coach, or Maryland. All the stuff that you see on TV. We got it in Erie, y'all. Come on out.
Right. Absolutely. So appreciate it, man. Again, appreciate your time. They're gonna be down there basketball game tonight. The old Wayne Middle School at 8 p.m. The game start, right?
Yep, it's the first game at 6. So if you
Okay.
want to get down and see the first game, meet the players, or see the players before we get on the court at 8, come on down.
All right. All right. Again,
All
thank you
right.
for your time, man. You have a good rest of your day, man. You stay blessed, man. I appreciate everything you had to say.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a great one, everybody. I love y'all.
Love you too, man.
All right.
So there you have it. There you have it, Mr. David Moetown Morris. Man, that was good. It got a lot of good information. Hope everybody enjoyed what he had to say. I hope y'all was inspired. I hope you was encouraged. Hope you was motivated. Um, he had a lot to say for the ladies, and he had a lot to say for the fellas for real, man. And like I said, I've been knowing Mr. Motown. I want to say pretty much my entire life. As young as I can remember, I remember seeing him. You know what I mean? He's always been in the Erie community. He's always been present. Like I said, through the church, through the school, through the community. You even seen like he finished up his basketball practice and got right online with me. So he giving back to the youth, and then he giving more to the community just from sharing his knowledge, sharing his information. So like I'm appreciative of every single thing he had to say. Hopefully everybody else was appreciative of what he had to say. If you do not know who Mr. David Motown Morris is, get to know him. They got the basketball game going on tonight. The Keystone Academy Kings, 8 p.m. at the Old Wayne Middle School. It's right there on 6th and East Avenue. So if you get some time, go down there and check him out. But again, man, like we're gonna keep doing this. Y'all stay tuned. You know what I mean? We're gonna stay involved. We're gonna stay active. Stay active. I have another interview here shortly. I'm gonna be interviewing Mr. Ron Paisley at 1 p.m. So I'm gonna take me a little hour break, maybe give me something to eat, figure out what else we gonna got going on. But I appreciate everybody's time. Appreciate everybody for watching. I appreciate for y'all for liking, commenting, sharing. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is new for me, so y'all gonna hear me say that stuff too now. Like, comment, and share. I'm getting better every single time. So maybe the next time I have little things jumping around the screen and all of that, I'm working. So, and if anybody can help me with doing that, please feel free to reach out. Let me tell me how to do it. Send me some links, send me some information, inbox me some videos so I can be watching, because we only gonna get better, and each time it's gonna get better. We're gonna keep growing, we're gonna keep progressing. So again, like I appreciate everybody's time, and I'm gonna sign off. I'll be back on here within an hour. Y'all take care of yourself and enjoy the rest of y'all day.